Hey guys, this will be the first video that I make for you guys of continuous learning lessons, and hopefully this goes well. And again, if you have questions, I'll be available during office hours, or you can always email me or that kind of thing. So let's see if we can get started on this. What we're going to be doing this week is we're going to be writing equations of circles and on the coordinate plane and graphing circles on the coordinate plane using those equations. And this actually is a pretty simple process once we kind of get going on it, and you'll see that that hopefully you pick up on it pretty quick. And there'll be a quiz that I'll post during this week that you can take online at any time, and it is a mastery. So if you don't get 80% on it or higher than 80%, then you can retake it as many times as you need to retake it. So let's kind of get started here. So what you see on the screen here is you see a equation: x minus h to the second power plus y minus k to the second power is equal to r to the second power. And this is the basic equation of a circle. And it's actually way more simple than what it looks. It looks kind of complicated because you've got all those letters in there and everything. But what you're going to find here as we start practicing this is that there's a coordinate in here of h, k. Okay, so it's this and this, those two letters right there. That's going to be the center of the circle every single time. That is the center of the circle. And so what actually happens is whatever h is that's going to move your circle to the left or to the right, and whatever k is going to move the center of your circle up or down. And so that turns in the center being hk. And you look at the equation, and you actually use the opposite sign of what you think you would use. Because if it says x minus h, the center is the positive value of h. And y minus k, the center is the positive value of k. And then r, that's the radius of our circle. And notice that in the equation, it's r squared. And so on our circle, it'll say something like equals 25. Well, 25 is 5 squared, and so the radius would be 5 in that case. And so let's so it's actually way more simple than it looks. And so let's just take, for example, this equation that I have right here. X minus 3 squared plus y plus 1 squared is equal to 4. And the first thing we're going to do is identify the center, and then we're going to identify the radius. And once we get those, then we'll graph it. And graphing, it's the easiest part. So the center, again, is a coordinate hk. Well, here's h, and here's k. And so the center is going to be the coordinate 3, negative 1. Because it's y, remember, I told you it's the opposite sign of what we thought it would be. So it's y plus 1, so that's y minus a negative 1, right? And so that is why it's 3, negative 1. And the center, or sorry, the radius, 4, remember, that's r squared. So the radius is going to be the square root of 4, which is 2. So our center is the coordinate 3, negative 1, and the radius is going to be 2. And so to graph that, we put a point at the coordinate 3, negative 1, which is right there, right 3 and down 1. And then the radius is 2. And so I put a little mark here to the right 2, I go up 2, I go left 2, I go down 2. My circle is going to connect with all those points right there. Then I can go ahead and kind of draw it in using my software here. It'll draw in the circle for me. And so right there is the coordinate, or right there is the graph of that circle. The center is at 3, negative 1. The radius is 2. And so everything you need to know on equations of a circle is right there in the equation. Another example. We've got x squared plus y minus 2 squared is equal to 25. Well, again, identify the center, and then identify the radius? Well, the center, again, is going to be the coordinate HK. Well, I don't have, it's x squared. There is no x minus anything there, is there? And so that's simply going to be 0 for h. And y, and then k, y minus 2, is 2. And then the radius is going to be the square root of 25, right? Because this is r squared. And so the radius is 5. So my center is at 0, 2. My radius is going to be 5. So I go up here to 0, 2 and plot a point. Radius of 5, so I go to the right 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 2, 3, 4, 5. 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's where my circle is going to be. And then I'm going to go ahead and kind of draw it in best I can. And my software read that as a hexagon or something, didn't it? Let's see if I can draw it in a little more smooth. Yeah, that didn't really help either, did it? But you kind of get the point. It'll look something like that. I'm just going to leave it in here as a circle. Leave it in like there as my drawing. Okay, so again, the center is at 0, 2, HK, and the radius is 5. Now let's work backwards. Now let's say I've got a circle that is already graphed. Can I write an equation for it? Well, we start off with identifying the center and identify the radius. Center, this coordinate right here. It looks like that is left 1, 2, 3, 4, so it's at -4. And then it's up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So my center is at -4, 5. And my radius looks like it is 1, 2, 3, 4. My radius is 4. And so now using my equation of a circle, remember, is x minus h squared plus y minus k squared is equal to r squared. So that's going to be x minus -4, so it becomes plus 4 plus y minus 5 squared is equal to r squared. Well, radius is 4, and 4 squared is 16. And there's your equation. We'll do one more example of this, and then I'm going to call it good, I think. On this one here, it looks like my center is at -4, -5. And my radius is 2. And so using my equation, y minus h squared, x minus h, not y minus h, x minus h squared plus y minus k squared is equal to r squared. That gives me x minus -4, so that's plus 4 squared. And then y minus -5, so y plus 5 squared is equal to r squared. 2 squared is 4. All right, everybody. I'm going to call that good. If you have any questions, you can catch me during any of my office hours, or send me an email, or of course, you can always YouTube other videos as well. There's plenty of them out there. Just search for equations of circles. But if you follow along okay with this and you understand this okay, go ahead and take the quiz. It is a Google Forms quiz, and the link to it is also in my Google Classroom. So I look forward to hearing from you all later.